Yeah, well, I said at the first press conference, thing can go 30 seconds or this thing can go 25 minutes. We'll see. Either way, it's going to be a great fight, and it was. That's what happens when you put two heavyweights in there who bang. Anything can happen.
As far as the post-fight show, we obviously weren't privy to that, but there was some buzz on Twitter that maybe you were a little critical of Cain's performance tonight. Is that a fair assessment? I mean, can you elaborate on that maybe?
No, I wouldn't say that I was critical. I had an opinion. I said, when we went back for the post show, I said, you know, I don't understand why Cain wouldn't have shot. Gone in for the shot, tried to work, pressure him, put him up against the fence, you know, and not stay in his range and try to bang with Junior in the early rounds. But what the hell am I? You know what I mean? I'm not anybody's coach or trainer. It was just, you know, it was my question about the fight.
As far as the broadcast is concerned, will there be other fights added to future broadcasts and maybe extended longer?
Just so everybody understands, we're not in a deal with Fox yet. Our deal doesn't start till January. So this fight here was what these guys just wanted to kick this thing off as like a welcome the UFC to Fox fight. This fight wasn't part of the deal. You know, the fights for the deal is for 7 years, so many fights on Fox, this time, that time. This was never part of the deal. After we signed the deal, Fox said, why don't we do this? Why don't we do a fight, you know, right away? Let's put a great fight on TV, kick it off, and you know, let everybody know about the partnership. That's what this thing was. For anybody to bitch about this fight and they didn't get to see that fight, and shut up. You should have bought tickets then if you wanted to see all the fights and you don't like to watch it on Facebook. Seriously, shut up. I don't even want to hear it.
Yeah, my conditioning was great. I told that because, you know, I was feeling a little bit my knee, and you know, I would not like to fight 5 rounds with Cain. You know, it's a big advantage for him because he's got a really good stamina. But man, that was a different pressure on me. You know, I think I felt good in the fight, but a lot of pressure.
It was fine, you know, going into the fight. You know, with the fight, it was my fault. I didn't pressure enough. You know, the game plan was to go in and pressure, and I waited far back too long. You know, I was playing Dos Santos' game. He got me with the good overhand right, so you know, it was my fault.
How close to 100% health-wise were you going into this fight?
Just little nagging injuries here and there. You know, just the usual. You know, that you get through training camp. So I couldn't say that it was worse than anything else I've had, but I mean, that's pretty much it.
And finally, did you think the stoppage was just? Did you know, were you out? Obviously, it looked like you were sort of coming back to your senses, but did you think it was the right call to make?
You know, the initial overhand right, I saw everything going down. Just my body wasn't really reacting, and you know, Junior just recovered really well. You know, he recovered really well, and it started with more ground and pound. And yeah, I mean, there was a great stoppage.
What was your game plan going into the fight?
Establish the punches and kicks. You know, putting a little pressure forward, and if the takedown was there, take it. You know, not to force anything. You know, Dos Santos has a great takedown defense and everything else. So we pretty much had, you know, fight smart and you know, just put a lot more pressure. And I didn't do that tonight, so I pretty much, you know, went away from the game plan.
Will that make it more frustrating, you know, going home and replaying this fight in your head? The fact that you think I was in the cage and I didn't even shoot on once. I mean, does that make it more frustrating, or it's just the name of the game?
Yeah, just the name of the game. You know, when you fight against, you know, somebody as talented as Dos Santos, I mean, you know, in this fight game it happens. You know, you lose. So yeah, just get back in the gym. You know, tweak some stuff, come back, because this is not the end for me.
Can you talk at all just about any kind of bitter taste that's in your mouth, though? I mean, they say fighters come back and they really learn a lot from their first loss, and your first words to Rogan were, "You will get the belt back," and just talk about how significant this could be maybe in your development as a fighter.
Yeah, just I think you definitely learn a lot from losses. You know, from wrestling so long. I mean, we have losses on our whole careers. You know, and this is no different. You know, I strayed away from the game plan, so I'm gonna learn not to ever do that again, even for, you know, even for a little bit.
My game plan? Well, My game plan was to keep the fight stand-up, you know, because I love to fight stand-up. I'm really confident in that area. But I was waiting for kicks, and he got a pretty heavy kicks, you know. And then I was looking for my fights. I looked for the knockout, and then because I know my coach used to tell me I got pretty heavy hands, so I tried to use them when they started the fight, because it's a good time to use that, you know, my power, you know, because I'm 100% in that moment. So it's good to use my power, and that works today. No, he like I thought, he was walking forward. He was putting a little bit of pressure. I don't know if it was how he liked to do, but you know, he walked forward, and man, that was a good moment for me, and I enjoyed the moment.
Yeah, and more than that small town in Brazil, the estimate was 60 million people watched the fight down there tonight in Brazil. So I think
Wow,
Junior
that's
Santos,
Brazil.
Junior Santos is going to have a pretty good homecoming when he gets back.
Good. Famous.
Who do you like? Who's going to win between Brock Lesnar and Alistair Overeem? And do you have a preference who you would face next?
No, I don't have preference. Actually, I never choose any opponent, you know. It doesn't matter who's going to be my next opponent. I'm not thinking about that now. I want to go back to Brazil and make a big barbecue for all my family and my partners. But for sure, I'll be watching this fight and pay attention on everything.
Who do you think wins the fight?
I don't know. I think I go with Brock.
I'm helping you guys out, just saying.
I don't know if you guys are able to that, but you know, I'm feeling amazing. I can't explain how I'm feeling, because it was a really important fight, you know, for the whole MMA, and especially for me and for Cain Velasquez, you know. But I'm really happy to win this fight, you know, and now I'm the champion, and it's amazing.
Congo has talked openly about wanting a rematch with you. What are your feelings on that, and is that something that does interest you?
Yeah, for sure. If that'll get me back to where I need to be again, you know, to have that belt, yeah, I'll take it.
I'm happy to get the W as always. I'll take it any way I can get it. If the guy slips on a puddle of water, you know, falls down, I'll take the W. Whatever, you know, any way I can get it. Was I happy with my performance? To be honest, no. I can do a lot better than that. You guys haven't seen nothing yet. As far as putting on a worthy performance for UFC to want to air it, I'm pretty sure it's going to get aired at some point in time. I don't know. It's a wild guess. I think it's going to get aired. I think it was a good, fun fight. I fed off the crowd. The crowd went crazy. I enjoyed myself.
Ben's a warrior. He comes out to scrap every time. We've seen him in Fight of the Nights. We've seen him excuse me, when the cards are against him, and he prevails. And I think everyone wanted 2 more rounds in this fight, so he earned it. He's going to go fight Frankie, and I'm going to get back. That was a mere speed bump, not a roadblock, so you guys will be seeing me real soon. Don't forget about the hair.
Yeah, I like to feed off the crowd. I get the crowd hyped up. Crowd gets me hyped up. You know, I would go out there and have a good time. Really, that's all it is. I definitely fed off the crowd. I definitely enjoyed it. As far as the decision afterwards, I felt good going in. I hate decisions. Can't stand decisions. But, you know, whatever. It is what it is. Next time I will definitely aim to finish the fight.
Yeah, that's a good question. The reason I fight is to put smiles on people's faces and get people cheering. You know, I feel my fans with every punch I throw. Every time I get punched in the face, I feel my fans, you know, whether it's by, you know, Ben or whoever it is. But yeah, I mean, it was a stellar fight. We came out of the gates swinging, and no, I'm not satisfied with my performance. We went out there, we gave the crowd what they wanted. I could care less about fight of the night. The bonus is awesome, don't get me wrong. I appreciate, from Dana and the Fertittas and Joe for, nominating us. But to me, it was all about that win. But I'm going to get right back in there and get back on a title run again. It won't be long now.
I think it's a great matchup-wise. Obviously, I'm as confident as any other fighter, here at the press conference, any fighter in the UFC. I'm very confident. As far as matchup with Frankie, I definitely have to do a better job of sticking to the game plan. With Clay, hats off to Clay. He did a great job, kind of drew me into his style fight. I wanted to be more technical. I wanted to be more precise. Clay did a great job making it more of a brawl, a wrestling match, which is, fine by me. If you want to go that route, I'll go that route. But I wanted to be more precise, more technical. With Frankie, I think I match up very well. I just have to stick to the game plan and do a little better job of that. But I'm very excited for that. Frankie and I are going to put on a great show.
Clay had over here too, right? Clay had a pretty tight guillotine. Were you in danger? Were you worried?
No, I wasn't really too worried. My submission defense is not too shabby, so yeah, I knew the right technique to get out of it. It was tight. He was squeezing very hard, but as far as actually me going to sleep, it wasn't going to happen.
Were you able to get past the knockdowns? Did that affect you for the rest of the fight?
It was flash. He hits hard, and I was in and out. And back on single legs, I couldn't. I shouldn't say I couldn't, but I didn't get to the wrestling. Like my wrestling coach, Israel Martinez, we worked over and over on single leg finishes, pushing him up against the fence, and he's good in that over under. He's good in double underhooks or whatever, and just got to get back to square one. What got me here is wrestling, and like I said, there were flashes, but I was in and out and in on single legs. But his sprawl was good, and he defended real well. I don't think it wasn't my best performance, but not to take anything away from Ben. It was we turned it into a wrestling match. I thought I had the edge, and kid's got heavy hips, man.
What exactly did you not like about your performance?
I just felt a little bit sluggish. I didn't feel like I was on point. Sometimes whether you're playing, I don't know, whatever sport you're doing or whatever you're doing, you don't feel just like 100%. I felt like, I wasn't firing on all cylinders. I didn't have that killer edge I had the last two fights. And I mean, I don't want to be too critical of myself. Got to go back and take a look at the film and all that stuff, but I just know I can do better than that. I can perform better than that. This is the first fight afterwards. I actually felt like, man, I could have done a lot better.
At what point did you know for sure that this was for the #1 contendership? Because on Thursday you said no one had told you anything, and then Rogan said at the weigh-ins that it was in fact for the #1 contender spot. So when did you know for sure that it was?
I never know for sure until I hear Dana White say it himself. Unless I hear Dana White, unless I see the video of Dana White saying it, I don't believe any other rumors. If Joe Rogan says it, if Goldberg says it, if the PR guys kind of say it, I don't really place too much stock in that. I want to see Dana White say it, then I believe it, and then I place stock in it.
And what do you think about fighting in Japan? Is that something that has interested you? Obviously, you've never done that before. I know you have Korean background. It's not Korea, of course, but just being in Asia, is that something that means something to you?
Yeah, I'm stoked. It's awesome, man. I'm very excited for it. It's going to be hopefully not a once-in-a-lifetime experience, but a sort of a once-in-a-lifetime kind of experience. I'm very excited for it. We already started talking logistically about it. It's going to be a nightmare, but it's a good problem to have.